Let's get into the Thunder-Mavericks. OKC is going to host Dallas starting Tuesday night. Some news, I guess Jason Kidd signed his contract extension here this morning. So he will be the longtime coach of the Dallas Mavericks. And unfortunately for Dallas fans, Mav center Maxi Kleber has a separated right shoulder, and he's going to be sidelined indefinitely. So he's not going to be he's going to be missing this series. And, if they pull off the upset, potentially even the next series, it's going to be a while, at least what they're saying. What's one thing to watch here in Thunder Mavs, a 1-5 matchup?
Well, I guess if the Mavs play hard for their new coach of the long term, Jason Kidd, that's interesting timing that they do that. Yeah, come play for this guy who's going to be there. That being said, I keep it simple. The way Luka comes out and plays against the guys who guard him are going to be interested. It's Lou Dort time. I got to assume that Lou Dort will be fighting through every screen that Jason Kidd has there for Luka to get open, like he did last series against the Pelicans and what he did against Brandon Ingram. Now, Luka looked good, obviously, against the Clippers, 39-9. Although he wasn't shooting the ball all that well, 40% from the floor and just 24% from three, shooting 11 threes. So he doesn't have a lot of lift. He never had a lot of lift when he shoots his jumpers, but it's even less now because his knees aren't that right. We've talked about that multiple times. So I'm interested to see if Dort can get into him even a little bit more and reduce his scoring even more, because I don't know. Luka obviously isn't right. That being said, he's still able to fight through everything, and there's just going to be a lot asked for him, especially with Kleber out. So just keeping it simple, the Luka versus Dort is what I'm interested with, because there's so much reliant on him and Kyrie. And then there's other guys who've contributed scoring-wise, but it is those two guys. Their offense relies on Luka. So can't wait.
Yeah, because Luka and the Mavs, okay, come bring the pick, and then we're going to get Luka on who we want and go from there.
Right.
But Dort is one of the rare guys in the NBA. He's like, no, you're not. I'm going to fight through the screen, and I'm going to stick to you as much as possible. So absolutely, I can't wait to see how the Mavs counter that, whether Luka starts going away from the pick and stuff like that, and just how much can Dort get a guy like Luka in the torture chamber. It's one thing to do it against Ingram, who was obviously limited. Now, so is maybe Luka, but they're two different beasts here. No offense to Brandon Ingram, but he's not on Luka's level. But Dort's awesome. It's definitely a fun matchup to watch because we know that's going to be one of them, TK.
Yeah, one of them led the league in scoring, and the other led his team in scoring after the leading scorer was hurt.
Right.
So
bit of a difference.
Yeah, bit of a difference. Yeah. One of them is awesome. Game one, though, I think is huge just because it's going to be a shock to the system for the Thunder. They had a test in game one against the Pelicans, and then after that, easy. Yeah. It was an easy series for them, so they've been resting, getting ready for whoever they're going to play 4 versus 5 here. Dallas, though, compared to New Orleans, Dallas is better on both sides of the ball. They're more experienced, they're more athletic, and outside of Kleber, nasty fall on the shoulder, they're a lot healthier. This Dallas team is going to be a significant step up in competition for the Thunder, so we'll see how they handle it as a young team going forward in an actual playoff-like atmosphere, because that Pelican series was just way too easy for the Thunder. I'm actually more interested in Kyrie Irving because I think he's got to be a big-time scorer in this one like he was in the first round against the Clippers. Against the Thunder this season, Kyrie averaged 30.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, shot 62% from the field, 42% from 3. They're going to do whatever they can, the Thunder will, to limit Luka, to limit his playmaking, which means Kyrie needs to score. He's going to have probably not Dort on him, but guess what? That means you either have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, maybe J-Dub, maybe Aaron Wiggins, a solid defender as well, so it's not going to be easy, but Kyrie can score on anybody, and they need him to be 30 points per game, basically, in this series, and they really need his defense. He was great on James Harden, I thought, in round 1 against the Clippers. There were games when Kyrie would have 16 points, 4 assists, and made so many big defensive plays that it kind of canceled out his pedestrian offense, but he gave a great effort against Harden. He was a great help defender. He was diving on the floor multiple games. Kyrie was so engaged, I thought, in round 1. They need to see that again in round 2 against the Thunder, because obviously a level of competition up, I think, for Dallas as well, compared to a Clippers team where it's who's even playing this game?
Yep. Yeah, I am interested to see OKC in game 1, as you said, just because this is round 2. The lights are even brighter. That being said, the Mavericks stunk in game 1 against the Clippers too.
They did.
So
they did indeed.
They were down 35, weren't they?
So the lights are brighter for OKC, but there are a lot of young players here on the Mavs team that are supporting Luka and Kyrie. Will they be able to play? Because there's going to be some limiting by OKC's defense, I assume. So those other guys have to produce something.
Yes.
A little bit something.
This Maxi Kleber injury could have an impact on this series, as crazy as that sounds. But because that was a 3-point shooter, obviously, for Dallas. I think he went 10 for 18 from deep in the Clippers series. He's a little quicker than the other bigs, obviously, on Dallas. They got a lot of guys, so that's good. But Chet, we saw what he did against Valanciunas in that first round series. I'm just going to step out and knock down threes. And Maxi, in theory, is a 5 that can sort of be out there on the perimeter a little bit more and move your feet a little bit more. But you take him out of the equation now that's Gafford. Is that Lively? They are going to be a different matchup for Chet Holmgren. Obviously, the lob threat coming off there with Luka on picks and stuff like that. But can Chet sort of punish them like he did JV in that first round series? I can't wait to see if he can do it again as a rook.
7 for 23 in the first round.
From deep.
Yeah.
I guess he had a couple good
You're
moments.
living with that if you're Dallas,
yeah,
I think.
That's true.
30%.
That's true. Is there an X factor in this series for you?
The Derricks.
Okay.
Both Derricks to me are going to be huge in this one. Derrick Jones Jr. and Derek Lively. I think Derrick Jones Jr. is getting the tough defensive assignment. Whoever happens to be out there when he's out there, probably Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, though he likely gets a little bit of time on Jalen Williams as well. Derrick Jones Jr., 5 for 13 from 3 in round 1. It's not great, but good enough because they need his defense and his athleticism out on the court. Then you look at Derek Lively. He outscored and out-rebounded Daniel Gafford in the first round playoff series they just had against the Clippers. Shot 75% from the field, a block per game. He looked a little bit more ready for the spotlight, I thought, than Gafford did. He's got to win his matchup with probably Jalen Williams, big Jalen Williams off the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if Lively ends up starting in this one because he's maybe a little quicker to be able to get out to Chet Holmgren at the three-point line without Maxi Kleber. Him as the bench big with the versatility they're losing, being able to go with the small ball 5, Lively's got to be huge.
I'm really looking forward to Derek Lively because I know a lot of people didn't expect a lot of him because he was injured coming into this postseason. He lost his mom to cancer just before the playoffs started, but he was fantastic. And there's some little notes to really, if you want to go into the depth, he had a really good game against Dallas this season. It's just a freaking regular season, but he had a monster 20, 16, and 7 blocks in one game against Dallas this season.
Against OKC.
Yeah, excuse me. So many teams. Yes, Dallas really is going to rely on him, though. It is huge to not have Maxi Kleber in this series. They can't go small ball 5. They can't because besides Gafford and Derek Lively, they are thin. So you're obviously going to rely a lot on Derrick Jones Jr., P.J. Washington in the starting lineup to go along with Gafford. Then Lively is going to play a lot.
Yep.
Beyond that, now that's 6 guys. Beyond that, who is playing? Maybe some Exum who's struggled in the series. Maybe some Josh Green who's working his ass off at it being an undersized wing. Besides that, that's it. So we may see some Jason Kidd go and say, "Hey, PJ, you're playing the 5 a little bit. If things get in foul trouble with Gaff or Lively, but there's just a lot on Lively. They lose a little bit of versatility to have Maxi Kleber out there as the 5, as a guy who can freaking shoot, who shot, was it 60% from 3?
Yeah.
He didn't hit a lot of threes, but
10 of 18, I think it was in that Clipper series.
Yeah, where he hit that 5 in that one game, and then just 5 the rest of the series. So. There's a lot on the centers, but there's just a lot on the support guys now, whoever they may be. They're waiting for Exum to show up. I mean, Exum had a quiet series. Mm-hmm. He could be something. But, Jason Kidd might play around.
You think there needs to be that 7th guy in one of these games or 2, sort of turn the tide or hold them down there for a couple minutes in a first half or a third quarter, Well, let's get to predicting it. This looks like it should be another amazing series. All of these, for the most part, outside of maybe the Celtics-Cavaliers, these are very interesting on paper second-round matchups. This one definitely is. Where are you leaning?
Oh yeah, it's tough.
In a Thunder-Mav series.
I mean, I am excited. Game 1 is really interesting. The Oklahomans against the Texans. There will be fans that travel to both places because it ain't far.
Yep.
Our Andrew Schlecht probably be doing that as well. I really want to see what OKC does with Josh Giddey. If he's going to close games, we may see some Cason Wallace. We might see some Aaron Wiggins. I just like that depth, and I do trust Dagnott. So I'm just going on a limb and saying OKC in 7, which is a big stage for them. But I'm buying into what they have.
That's a good call. I mean, Giddey could be seen as an X factor in this series too, because in the regular season matchup, they were like, "Go ahead, man, shoot."
He's going to have open looks.
Go nuts. Yeah, we're sagging off you. We ain't worried about you. But Giddey was really good, sort of down the end of the regular season into the postseason. At catching the ball, he goes right away, obviously attacks, and was even doing a decent job of hitting the open shot. So he could be a huge X factor in this.
Giddey and Dort are going to have wide open threes.
Yeah.
Giddey went 9 for 18 in the first round. Dort went 12 of 23.
Right.
You saw what the Mavericks did against the Clippers. They left Westbrook open to shoot every single time he touched the ball. He went 4 for 17. He couldn't beat him. Giddey, maybe. Dort, maybe they can.
Yeah, Luka's going to be on one of those guys. Could be Giddey.
Yep.
He's going to leave him open.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going OKC in 7, so you got obviously a bit of a coin flip series here. TK leaning the same way. You going Dallas? What do you think?
It's going to be tight. Definitely going to be tight. I kind of think it's going to come down to who makes more shots between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams versus Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
These are like 4 of the best clutch players out there.
Yep.
I'll go Mavs in 6. A little bit of a swerve ski.
Okay, I like that swerve. I guess because you're leaning, you maybe trust Kyrie, what we've seen recently, to hit maybe more of those clutch shots than J-Dub, who's, he's got to play. Like, we feel like in a weird way, Luka and SGA, they might sort of cancel each other out. Obviously, they're going to get the best defender from the other team. They're still going to get their 30s and 9s and whatever. But can Kyrie keep kicking ass, especially in second halves? And then can J-Dub, I don't want to say, can you match Kyrie Irving? Because that guy's one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. But can he obviously have an impact on these games? And he was awesome in the first round series. He got overlooked because they sort of dominated, but he was really good in his first postseason run. So I'm going with Tass here. I'm going to go with Thunder in 7. I think it's going to be a long series. And home court advantage coming through. And we barely even talked about SGA. I guess we did say, who did they put on him?
Yeah.
Derrick Jones Jr.
Derrick Jones Jr.
PJ will guard him a little bit.
Yeah.
Some PJ. He should be able to take
I like that for SGA then, if these are the options.
Axum will probably get out there and play some against him as well. But will he be able to finish games? Who knows?
Yeah.
That's a good that should be an advantage for him.
Luka and SGA did not have incredible first rounds. You're looking at their numbers, you're still going to be impressed. But they were for them, these MVP finalists, they were not, at times even the best guy on their squad for a majority of it. So, who goes up a level here in the second round? Who figures out the defense that they now see in this new matchup? I'll go Thunder in 7 with Tass. We got Trey going Mavs in 6. Let's hear from everybody out there. Let us know in the stream team. Let us know in the YouTube comments where you're leaning for this one.